Rick basically goes on to say that, look, this thing could be a potential disaster next season. And a lot of people in media are overhyping this thing, and they're not doing a good enough job to actually analyze. Well, he put out a video on his platform, and I think it's called United We Cast, all right? And it says the NBA is overreacting to the Sixers, why LeBron and Jaylen Brown aren't.
Sports media loves selling perfect fairy tale endings, but real basketball usually has a way of crushing the hype. Right now, people are already talking like Philadelphia has the championship locked up before training camp has even started. Veteran NBA analyst Ric Bucher decided to throw some cold water on all that excitement. He believes this brand new Sixers roster could be heading toward a major disappointment instead of a title celebration. So what really happens? Can the Philadelphia 76ers turn this group into a championship team, or will everything fall apart before they even get past the second round? Drop your thoughts in the comments below.
Shout out to Ric Bucher, man. Shout out to Ric Bucher, man. He's been making a lot of headlines over the last few weeks now, and it's good because, and I think the reason Rick is making so much noise is because you have a person with a lot of credibility that's been in the sports media business for probably decades now, and is coming out and pushing back on a lot of these narratives that is being propagated by some of these big sports media networks, right? And he's making a lot of noise because he just didn't decide to put on, his clown suit and twerk it up with the rest of them. And I think that's how he's differentiating himself from everyone and getting a lot of market share. So he's doing a great job. But yesterday he made a prediction. He put out a video, not a prediction. He put out a video on his platform, and I think it's called United We Cast, all right? And it says the NBA is overreacting to the Sixers, why LeBron and Jaylen Brown aren't.
Ric Bucher has been making headlines for weeks now, and there is a good reason for it. Unlike many people chasing attention, Rick has built his reputation over decades in sports media. Because of that, plenty of fans still take his opinions seriously. Instead of repeating the loud storylines making the rounds across television, he is willing to question them and explain why they may not hold up. That approach has helped his voice stand out from the crowd. He is sticking to basketball analysis instead of flashy hot takes, and more fans seem to appreciate that every day. Recently, Rick uploaded a video on his platform, United We Cast. The title was, "The NBA is overreacting to the Sixers, why LeBron and Jaylen Brown aren't enough."
Rick basically goes on to say that, look, this thing could be a potential disaster next season. And a lot of people in media are overhyping this thing, and they're not doing a good enough job to actually analyze.
Right away, he explained that the NBA has officially entered what he calls overreaction season. Every offseason, one signing or one trade suddenly convinces people that a team is destined to win everything. Rick admitted that even experienced reporters can get caught up in the excitement sometimes. He pointed to last summer when Orlando added Desmond Bane. He liked the move and believed it improved the Magic, but he never claimed that one player suddenly made them championship favorites. To him, it was simply a move that looked like a strong fit on paper.
All right, it's overreaction season once more, where the biggest offseason splash or news instantly inspires predictions that are, well, how do I put it this nicely? Prisoner of the moment stuff. I'll admit, I have been guilty of it at times as well. I loved the addition of Desmond Bane by Orlando last summer and was convinced the Magic were going to be one of the top teams in the league last season. My optimism proved to be ill-founded, but I wasn't making any wild pronouncements like Bane made them instant title contenders. I just liked the fit. Some of my media brethren are not being as conscientious or level-headed when it comes to the Philadelphia 76ers and their prospects for next season. They are suddenly capable, if not poised, to win it all next season.
Meanwhile, much of the basketball world seems completely caught up in the excitement surrounding Philadelphia. Some analysts are acting like putting several famous names on one roster automatically guarantees a championship. Rick argued that if basketball worked like a fantasy league, maybe that thinking would make sense. But in the real NBA, teams still need chemistry, defense, communication, consistency, and good health. Without those things, talent alone usually is not enough. We have watched this same cycle happen over and over again. Every offseason, predictions fly everywhere. One team is suddenly called unbeatable, while another gets counted out before anyone has even played a meaningful game. Then, only a few months later, many of those same predictions completely change. The excitement moves so fast that basic basketball logic often gets left behind.
If the NBA was a fantasy league, that might have credence. Since it's not, it doesn't. This is not new territory, but at some point the need to say something both declarative and bombastic after every development becomes a little silly. We went through the same wild, not based in logic overreactions last summer and throughout the season. One of those same figures also had the Oklahoma City Thunder going 82-0 and being a shoo-in to win back-to-back titles. Others predicted the Celtics were supposed to be in the lottery at the start of the season, and then, after an unexpectedly successful regular season, we're supposed to go to the finals. Overreact much? That is, by the way, the media reaction. The fan reaction for all those juiced up about the Sixers is if you're not immediately enthused about the compilation of talent as the team to beat, then you're a hater or just stupid, which is fine if you're more a wild-eyed fanatic than a devout but realistic fan.
Ric Bucher made an important point about the difference between emotional reactions and careful analysis. When passionate fans hear someone question their favorite team, many immediately label that person a hater. But looking honestly at the Sixers means looking at what history has shown. Excitement is one thing, yet results are something completely different. Philadelphia has spent years trying to break through the same wall. The franchise has not reached the Eastern Conference Finals since 2001. That does not erase the good work they have done. Tyrese Maxey has developed into one of the brightest young guards in the league. VJ Edgecombe has exciting potential. Jared McCain also gives fans plenty of reasons for optimism. Nick Nurse is respected around the league, and the front office has worked hard to improve the roster. Still, this is far from the first time people have called Philadelphia a super team. Think back to the roster featuring Joel Embiid, Jimmy Butler, Ben Simmons, and Tobias Harris. At that time, many people believed that group would dominate the NBA. Instead, they still came up short of reaching the conference finals. That does not mean this current team will follow the same path, but it does show that building a true championship contender is rarely as simple as collecting star players during one off-season. History across the league tells a much bigger story. Recent championship contenders usually did not become great overnight. They spent years making smart moves, improving weak spots, and developing players together. That steady growth often mattered more than winning the biggest headlines during free agency. Take the New York Knicks as an example. They did not suddenly wake up as one of the league's strongest teams. Their front office kept making adjustments over several seasons. They eventually moved Julius Randle for Karl Anthony Towns, continued building depth across the roster, and later brought in Mike Brown to lead the group. Every move built on the last instead of trying to solve everything at once. The Oklahoma City Thunder followed a similar path. They spent years collecting draft picks, developing young talent, and creating a strong team culture. When they finally decided to bring in outside help, they did not simply chase the biggest names available. Instead, they added players like Isaiah Hartenstein and Alex Caruso, veterans who strengthen a team without needing to control the ball every possession. Those smart additions fit what the Thunder had already built, and that patience helped turn them into one of the NBA's toughest teams. Take a look at the Boston Celtics before Oklahoma City reached the top. Boston did not become champions overnight. Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown went through years of playoff heartbreak, making deep runs only to come up short. The front office kept adjusting the roster, and eventually added Kristaps Porzingis and Drew Holiday to strengthen a team that was already close to the finish line. They were adding the final pieces to a foundation that had been built for years. Now compare that path to what Philadelphia is trying to do today. Last season, the Sixers won 45 games and had to fight through the play-in picture. They were not a dominant team that simply needed one more role player to put them over the top. They were still trying to establish themselves among the best teams in the Eastern Conference. Ric Bucher argued there is a huge difference between adding complementary players to an established contender and bringing together several star names while expecting instant championship chemistry. According to Ric, that difference matters much more than many people want to admit. One point he highlighted is that recent champions usually had a core group that already proved it could win multiple playoff rounds together before making major additions. Philadelphia has not yet reached that point. That is why he also took a closer look at Tyrese Maxey, who has received enormous praise across the league. There is no question Maxey had an outstanding season. He averaged 25.9 points and 6.2 assists per game, earned the NBA's Most Improved Player award, and made the All-NBA third team. Those accomplishments deserve real credit. At the same time, Ric pointed out that Maxey received no first-team All-NBA votes. Most voters viewed him as one of the league's very good players, but not yet among the very top tier. From Ric's basketball perspective, Maxey still sits just below players like Luka Doncic, Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, Jalen Brunson, and Cade Cunningham. Although Maxey is officially listed as a point guard, Ric believes his style is closer to an explosive scoring guard than a traditional floor general. He argued that players like Brunson do more to organize an offense, control tempo, and guide teammates through difficult playoff moments. Those are skills that often separate great guards from true championship-level leaders. Ric questioned whether asking Maxey to suddenly handle all of those responsibilities while sharing the court with veterans like LeBron James, Jaylen Brown, and Joel Embiid would be realistic. He believes building chemistry between several high-profile players takes much more than simply putting everyone in the same jersey. Roles have to be clearly defined, players have to sacrifice, and trust has to develop over time. Those things cannot simply appear because expectations are high. Ric also discussed another topic that he believes could become part of the conversation if Philadelphia struggles next season. In his opinion, attention could quickly shift toward Joel Embiid if the team falls short of expectations. He noted that some television discussions have already focused heavily on Embiid's health and conditioning whenever analysts talk about the Sixers' chances. Ric suggested that those conversations could become even louder if the season does not go as planned. His view is that star players often receive different levels of criticism depending on the storyline surrounding a team. Ric also mentioned the business connections that exist around the organization. Tyrese Maxey is represented by Clutch Sports. Head coach Nick Nurse is also represented by Clutch Sports. LeBron James has long been closely associated with Clutch Sports as well. Ric argued that those relationships sometimes become part of the broader media conversation, although opinions differ on how much influence they actually have. Joel Embiid is not represented by Clutch Sports, and his injury history has remained a major topic for years. When healthy, Embiid continued to perform at an elite level, averaging 34.7 points per game. However, he appeared in only 39 games last season because of injuries. Ric argued that because health has followed Embiid throughout his career, it is easy for many discussions to focus on that issue whenever Philadelphia faces adversity. According to Ric, if the Sixers are eliminated early, many conversations could quickly center on Embiid's availability rather than examining every factor that contributed to the result. Questions about defense, roster fit, shooting, rotations, and chemistry could all become part of the discussion. Yet Ric believes health would likely dominate many headlines. Whether that ends up happening remains to be seen, but he believes the possibility is already there. Fans also shared plenty of opinions after this topic was posted on the Dreamers Pro community page. One fan commented that media coverage often focuses heavily on protecting certain star players while placing more attention on others. Another fan joked that people would already begin debating possible roster changes long before the trade deadline if the Sixers started slowly. Those reactions reflected how divided basketball fans remain whenever expectations are this high. Ric believes similar conversations have happened before throughout NBA history. He pointed back to the 2011 NBA Finals when Miami lost to Dallas. After that series, many different explanations circulated about why the Heat fell short. Some discussions centered on Chris Bosh, while others focused on LeBron James and the team's overall performance. Ric used that example to argue that when championship expectations are enormous, debates over responsibility often continue long after the final buzzer sounds. When LeBron returned to Cleveland, Kevin Love saw his role change in a big way. He became more of a spot-up shooter, and every defensive mistake seemed to become a major talking point across sports media. Later, when LeBron joined the Lakers and the team finished 33-49 during the 2021-22 season, Russell Westbrook became the focus of endless criticism, while many fans argued that the team's bigger roster issues did not receive the same attention. Now, according to Ric Bucher, Philadelphia could be walking into a very similar situation. The expectations surrounding this team are already through the roof. Some analysts are calling this one of the most talented groups LeBron has ever been part of. When the hype reaches that level, the pressure only gets bigger. If the Sixers fall well short of expectations, every decision, every lineup, and every player will be put under a microscope. Just look at the names on paper. You have former MVP Joel Embiid, Finals MVP Jaylen Brown, All-Star Tyrese Maxey, highly regarded young talent VJ Edgecombe, and LeBron James. That is an impressive collection of players. But basketball history has shown again and again that talent alone does not guarantee playoff success. Chemistry, health, sacrifice, and consistency still decide who is playing when the biggest games arrive. Think back to the Lakers after they traded for Russell Westbrook. Before that season even started, predictions were flying everywhere. Some analysts believed Los Angeles would dominate the league and challenge for one of the best records in NBA history. Instead, the team struggled with spacing. Players searched for the right roles. Injuries became a factor, and the season ended far below expectations. The excitement disappeared quickly once the games actually began. Nobody knows how this Philadelphia story will end. Maybe the Sixers prove every doubter wrong and become a true championship contender. Or maybe the concerns about chemistry, roster fit, and health become bigger than the talent on paper. That is exactly why Ric Bucher believes fans should slow down before handing Philadelphia the trophy months before the playoffs even begin. Now it is your turn! Do you agree with Ric Bucher, or do you think the Sixers have everything they need to make a championship run? Drop your thoughts in the comments below because I want to hear what you think. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and share this video with other NBA fans so they can join the conversation. Thanks for watching, and I'll catch you in the next one.